Welcome back to the deep dive. If you live anywhere near a big city, you've probably noticed it, right? The roads feel increasingly jammed up.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, somehow your online orders seem to be showing up quicker than ever.
Yeah, it's a bit of a paradox, isn't it?
It really is. And today, we're diving into why that's happening. It's all about urbanization, this huge growth of cities.
Yeah.
And it's fundamentally changing the game for, well, the whole trucking and freight industry.
Exactly. It's a massive shift. We're moving away from that, classic image of the long-haul trucker crossing the country for weeks on end.
Right.
Our sources today really focus on the specialized kind of niche opportunities this urban growth is creating. Specifically, we're talking short haul and last mile logistics.
Okay.
So the mission for you listening is to really get why this constant demand for super fast delivery is pushing the industry towards these hyper-local specialized roles right in your neighborhood.
Okay, right. So let's unpack that. The big picture here is the industry is basically reacting to physics, right?
Yeah.
And to us, the consumers.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're shifting focus, shifting money from those really long, infrequent cross-country hauls to loads and loads of shorter, quicker trips, all concentrated where most people actually live now.
It's not just a minor trend either. It's really an economic necessity. It's driven by how we use land now.
How so?
Well, think about the constraints. City density, the sheer volume of traffic, new regulations. It's all forcing the industry to, well, innovate.
Okay.
And that innovation really starts with redefining what hauling even means in this context.
Right. And that kind of sets us up perfectly for our first big idea, this new wave of local specialization.
Yeah.
As cities get packed, traffic slows everything down, those huge 18-wheelers just don't fit anymore, literally and figuratively.
Exactly. They become liabilities in dense areas.
So to manage all that congestion, we're seeing two really specialized types of delivery emerge. Let's start with short haul.
Okay, short haul trucking. Think of it as the regional connector. These drivers work within a much tighter area.
How tight are we talking?
Typically, maybe 150, perhaps up to 250 miles from their home base, their distribution center. Their main job is getting large amounts of goods towards the city limits efficiently.
That sounds like a completely different lifestyle for the driver compared to long haul. We have this romantic image, maybe, of the trucker gone for weeks.
Oh, it's a huge contrast, yeah. Short haul drivers, they're usually home every night or, maybe every couple of days at most.
That must be appealing.
It really is. For work-life balance, it's a big draw. But the job itself demands a different kind of skill set, too. These drivers, they become these sort of unsung local heroes of the supply chain.
Local heroes. Why heroes? Is it just about being home?
No, it's more about the precision their job requires now. It's not just about covering miles anymore. It's about mastering the regional pinch points, the bottlenecks. They're the crucial link for, just-in-time deliveries for local factories, supermarkets, big retailers.
So they need deep local knowledge.
Exactly. They need to know the exact closing time for that loading dock, or the trickiest merge on the highway during rush hour, how to turn around a restock order super fast. Knowing their specific 200-mile radius inside out, that's incredibly valuable.
Okay, so short haul gets the goods near the city. But then, and this is where I think it gets really interesting, we shift focus to the last mile.
The final frontier, almost.
This seems like the ultimate hyper-local challenge, the one facing the biggest hurdles.
Absolutely. So last mile delivery, the definition is basically moving goods from a local warehouse, sometimes we call it a micro-fulfillment center.
Right, I've heard that term.
Directly to the end customer. Whether that's your house or a local business, it's usually just the final, say, 5 or 10 miles of the whole journey.
And it's the most critical part.
Crucial, and often the most expensive and complex. Our sources consistently call it the tricky step.
Why so tricky? What makes it so complicated on the ground?
Well, just picture any busy city center you know. The last mile delivery vehicle isn't just dealing with general traffic. That's a given.
Sure. It's dealing with a total lack of infrastructure built for constant deliveries. You're trying to find parking, often double parking, which isn't exactly legal.
Right. Squeezing down narrow streets sometimes.
Exactly. Roads designed a century ago for horses, maybe. Or finding a loading dock that's hidden around back, or shared by 10 other businesses in the same building.
And all while the clock is ticking really fast.
That's the killer element. The pressure of these super tight delivery windows, sometimes just 2 hours, all driven by this explosion in online ordering.
Which means the standard delivery truck, the big boxy ones, they just aren't always the right tool for the job anymore, are they?
Not at all. They're often too cumbersome, too slow in that environment. And this is why that last mile specialization really opens up chances for less traditional approaches.
Okay, like what?
Well, the old model is kind of broken by city density. So the smart companies focusing on last mile are working directly with local shops, online retailers.
And crucially, they're using a really diverse fleet. It's not just about slightly smaller vans anymore. We're seeing electric bikes, cargo bikes, specialized little three-wheeled vehicles.
And I read about robots and drones, too.
Yes, absolutely. Even delivery robots and drones, especially for those really small, hyper-local package drops.
Okay, I have to ask about the bikes and robots, though. Are they actually scalable, or is it more like, a good PR move for these companies right now?
That's a fair question. And scalability really depends on what's being delivered and where.
Yeah.
For things like, say, prepared meals or urgent pharmacy items, small, high-value, time-sensitive stuff, those e-bikes or cargo scooters can be incredibly efficient. They just weave through traffic.
Faster than a truck sometimes, I bet.
Often, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in really choked downtown areas. The robot thing, well, that's often more about testing the tech, proving capability for the future,
Right, groundwork for automation.
Yeah, exactly. But for right now, the main adaptation we're seeing is a big push towards smaller electric vans and trucks. Vehicles designed specifically to slip into tight urban spaces where a big rig could never go.
Makes sense.
So if we pivot slightly here, adapting to these packed, sometimes chaotic city environments isn't just about finding a smaller truck. It's really being pushed by two big external forces. This brings us to Section 3.
Which are?
Traffic jams, obviously. But also, and this is increasingly important, environmental regulations.
Oh, yeah.
And what's really interesting is that these massive challenges are actually the biggest drivers of innovation in the industry right now.
Okay, so constraints breeding creativity. Let's look at how they're getting smarter then. Our sources mentioned some specific fixes: infrastructure, technology.
Right. Infrastructure is the foundation. Companies are realizing those massive remote warehouses just don't cut it for fast urban delivery.
Too far away.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
they're building networks of smaller, decentralized urban hubs or depots closer to the customer.
That seems critical. Shorter distance means less time, less fuel.
Precisely. Every mile you shave off that final delivery leg saves time. It saves money. It cuts fuel use. It fundamentally changes the economics of the last mile.
And technology must be the glue that holds those smaller centers together effectively. You mentioned it's more than just basic GPS now.
Oh, way beyond simple GPS. We're talking dynamic routing. This is the real game changer for managing complexity.
Dynamic routing. How does that work to save those crucial minutes?
Think of it like a constantly recalculating brain for the whole delivery network, instead of a driver just following a fixed route planned hours ago.
Which could be totally outdated by noon.
Exactly. This software uses real-time traffic info, weather updates, even delivery confirmation data to constantly shuffle and re-optimize the delivery sequence for all connected drivers.
So if there's a sudden accident blocking a street,
Boom. The software instantly reroutes every affected driver, recalculates their entire day's remaining stops to find the next best path. It's that level of minute-by-minute adjustment that's needed just to stay competitive.
wow. And that kind of optimization, I guess it becomes even more vital when you factor in the environmental rules you mentioned. That's created its own niche, hasn't it, using cleaner fleets?
Absolutely. This is a huge driver, particularly with the spread of low-emission zones, LEZs, in major cities, especially across Europe, but increasingly in North America, too.
Right, I've seen signs for those.
These are specific city areas where the most polluting vehicles, usually older diesel trucks, face heavy restrictions. Either they're banned outright, or they have to pay a pretty hefty daily fee to enter.
That sounds like a serious financial incentive to change. It forces their hand, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. If you're a big delivery company wanting to serve, say, central London or Paris effectively, you basically have to switch to electric or maybe hybrid trucks.
Or risk getting hammered by those seas.
Exactly. The cost makes older fleets unviable in those zones. So this regulation is massively speeding up the adoption of EV trucks, particularly in short haul and last mile. And that, in turn, drives investment in charging infrastructure.
So you combine the need for speed, that deep local knowledge, and now environmental compliance. It really has created some ultra-specialized services, hasn't it? It's not just moving boxes anymore.
Not at all. You're seeing companies that focus only on very specific niches, like temperature-controlled grocery delivery,
Okay.
or delivering urgent medical supplies with special handling, high-security package transport. This specialization lets them charge a premium for that expertise.
And I guess that also leads to businesses just outsourcing this whole headache, this idea of quick turnaround contracts.
That's right. Many businesses are realizing that mastering this urban delivery puzzle is just too complex and expensive to do in-house, so they contract it out entirely to these agile, tech-savvy niche firms that can guarantee fast, reliable delivery within the city.
Okay, so let's connect all these threads now to the bigger picture. Why does this massive shift really matter for, the wider economy and society?
Well, it's becoming clear that efficient short-haul and last-mile logistics aren't just about convenience anymore. They're actually becoming the backbone of economic resilience.
Oh, so.
Think back to recent supply chain disruptions. The biggest bottlenecks weren't always the ships or the long-haul trucks. It was the inability to quickly distribute goods within the cities once they arrived nearby.
Ah, right. The final leg was broken.
Exactly. So having robust, efficient local delivery is vital. Plus, there's the environmental benefit, which, while maybe incremental day to day, adds up. Fewer long, diesel-heavy trips, more electric vehicles in cities. It helps.
And the economic impact locally.
Tremendous. It's creating a boom in localized jobs and business opportunities, not just for drivers, but for tech roles managing the routing software, for fleet maintenance techs specializing in EVs, for warehouse workers in these smaller urban hubs.
So new kinds of jobs are emerging.
Definitely. It's a chance for local trucking firms that are willing to invest in the tech, in the specialized fleets. And it really favors workers who have those combined skills, the tech literacy and the urban navigation savvy to handle these complex, dynamic routes. Logistics jobs are shifting from the open highway maybe into the data center in a way.
So just to kind of wrap up what we've covered, urbanization, the sheer growth of cities, is fundamentally rewriting the rules for trucking. It's moving away from that image of massive long-distance hauls towards a system built on countless smaller, faster, highly specialized, and tech-driven deliveries right in our urban centers. And that new reality is basically why you can order something online at lunchtime and have it on your doorstep by dinner.
Yeah, that's the crux of it. But it does raise a really important question, thinking longer term about where this is all heading for the industry itself.
Okay.
Well, the demand for even faster delivery isn't slowing down, right? Companies are racing to adopt even more tech, better route optimization, maybe drone delivery becomes more common, automated smart parking systems.
Right, taking the human element out even more.
Potentially. And if the industry becomes increasingly driven by software, managing packages with less and less direct human intervention, what does that mean for the traditional logistics worker's career path?
That's a really interesting point.
What new roles emerge? Maybe focus more on analyzing the systems, managing the automated fleets, handling the exceptions, the localized human touch points that AI can't manage yet. What skills will define success in this next generation of urban delivery?
So what does this all mean for you, listening? Well, next time you see one of those small, often electric delivery vans quickly navigating city traffic, just know you're essentially watching the future of logistics unfold in real time. Think about the complex skill set, the blend of tech and that deep local knowledge needed just to make sure that van delivers on its promise of speed and efficiency. That's really the new frontier for freight, right there on your city streets. Something to think about next time you track that online order.